Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the weekly reading report. I guess it's the bi-weekly reading report at this point because I skipped a week or two there for a second. We're going to start out as usual with our Read What You Own challenge update. The Read What You Own challenge is a challenge that I embarked upon on the 1st of November, where I have to read 12,500 pages of owned text before I could buy any new books for myself to go on these glorious shelves behind me. Now, there's one small caveat to that I've held to. I am in a philosophy discussion group that meets every other Friday, so if I have to buy a book, a little penguin, whatever, once every month or so for that, I will do that. Anything else, I can't buy it until I'm done with this challenge. Seeing as how we skipped a week or two there, I couldn't figure out exactly how many pages I've read since the last one, but I do have. We are currently at 12,039 pages of 12,500 pages. We are 86 days in, 96.3% complete. We are basically done with this, and these stats were actually taken yesterday, and I've gotten a little bit of reading done today. A whole bunch of Mervyn Peak poetry I read today. We can get to that later. So I'm 10 days ahead of schedule, and I've got like 300, 400 pages until I can buy another book, thank God. There's some stuff that I'm so excited. Some releases that are coming out this year. I'm super excited. I never get excited about new releases, but I've found my favorite, current favorite publishing houses that I love that have some extraordinarily exciting stuff coming out. I'll probably have a video on that coming up in like either next week or something. Perhaps. Don't trust me. I obviously can't be trusted when I come up with a topic name for a video to come up. Let's go ahead and start talking about what I finished. These first couple things, I didn't actually finish the huge tome, but I want to talk about them. One of the very first things I finished, I haven't actually finished the whole book, but I finished More Stories in Dino Buzzati, The Bewitched Bourgeois. I'm halfway through this. I kind of I kind of did a big sprint through to about 50% in this. I started to get a little bit burnt out. I might be putting this one, I'm slowing down. I haven't actually read this in about a week. A lot of it's very similar, beating on the same themes and the same environments and the same types of people. Even a lot of the character names are the same for these people. So I'm not quite bored of it, but I am feeling a little bit of fatigue on it. So I'm backing off a little bit. I might continue reading a little bit of this here quickly. I might put it down for a little bit and jump into something else. I've got some Borges short stories that I really want to read too, so we'll see what I get with those. I don't think I talked about this in the last video, but I finished up the part 2 and thus completed the book of poetry by Le Guin that is titled 60 Odd. This is now my favorite book of poetry by Le Guin. I really have to say it's the sweet spot of Le Guin for me. There's a lot of sweet spots with me for Le Guin, but I really this was when she turned 60, I think, was when it came out. It's called 60 Odd. The tone has gone so much from like mother nurture, which Le Guin's really good for. She's always so empathetic and nurturing and mothering. But now that we're in 60 Odd, everything's moved to like a wizened grandmother's love. And it's like the hugs are deeper. And it's so good. I love it. It's hitting me in the sweet spot. A lot of it makes no sense. A lot of part one I didn't really latch onto because it was very personal to a lot of individual people that I didn't know, just like her friends and family, I'm sure. This means the world to them because so many of them are in here, I'm assuming. Um, it's great. Part two, fucking awesome. Love it. Perfect. Another Le Guin that I was able to sneak in. I can't remember. Is this the first nonfiction of the year? Have I read nonfiction outside of philosophy? I can't even remember. Um, Conversations on Writing with Ursula K. Le Guin. These are the very last interviews that David Naiman, this guy, that he did with Ursula. I don't know if they're the very last like interviews that she did ever, but they're right at the end. And it's this conversation on what poetry means and the importance of poetry and the importance, I should say, it's three conversations. It starts out with one on fiction and then poetry and then nonfiction. And it's just them bebopping back and forth. And they inevitably drop back into talking shop a lot. It's so amazing. It was so awesome, especially to read the poetry part kind of hand in hand with 60 Odd from her when she was a little bit, even a little bit younger at that point. I know I said it was very grandmotherly, but like this is End Days Le Guin, so it was such a beautiful thing. This next one I have on my Kindle, however, I can't find it on my Kindle at the moment, which is interesting. I read volume 1 of Fullmetal Alchemist, the manga. When I was a small child, elementary school child, I grew up watching it, staying up late in the middle of the night. So like Toonami, Adult Swim, the Adult Swim, uh, midnight features would often have Fullmetal Alchemist and Rurouni Kenshin and all that stuff. It was good. It was fine. It didn't grasp me, and it left me completely unexcited to continue on, but I still kind of want to continue on. I eventually will continue on. It might be a minute on Fullmetal Alchemist Volume 2. Moving on. And then to continue it up, you would think that I would have been the perfect person to read Attack on Titan. And in many ways, I still think I'm the perfect audience for Attack on Titan. That being said, I tried to read it. I got through two. I got through two of these three, the first two, and I didn't read the third one. I essentially DNF'd it. I love the premise of this giant god unknown things and people versus the environment is huge with me. That resonates great. I love that absolutely. Um, I think I'm a bit burnt out on manga trying new manga right now, I should say. I'm going to be reading manga, but I'm going to be sucking kind of back into what I know I already like instead of branching out more. I feel like I've branched out a bit too far and I need to just kind of chill and consume what I already have and what I already really know that I like. This one, I will try it again maybe next year or something like that. Now, time for the Big Daddy. I finished The Terror by Dan Simmons. Now, The Terror is excellent. I loved this. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I need to stop having expectations. I say that in every video, but I expected this to be a crazy, abominable snowman horror novel creature feature, essentially. Um, there was a lot of feature, but you didn't get a whole bunch of creature really in it. It was basically just like fucked up versus the elements. historical fiction in the Arctic. These guys are in the 1840s, 50s, 60s, somewhere mid 1800s, going to take their boat to try to find the fabled Northwest Passage. And, well, it doesn't go good. It kind of throws you in, and shit is just page one. It's fucked. Everything, it's already so bad. It's already been bad it's thoroughly bad. Which is like, kind of gave me a bit of a chortle because it just fucking, page one, boom, here's what you're getting, boom. And it is that for like 800 pages of just the elements fucking with you. And like polar bears, you're up there, so you got to deal with that too. It's so good. It's thoroughly enjoyable. All of the characters are really memorable in here. The whole crew, everyone's got their own personalities. Everyone's got very distinct personalities, and you can tell who's who just by like the sentences that get said. And I applaud that. I read Boy's Life previously. For me personally, I enjoyed this more. So this would be, when we're doing our ranking for the best books and everything, this one, I like that one. This one's, yeah, I like that. And the most recent book I read, I just finished this last evening, 1984, George Orwell. This was not the experience I ever thought that I would have when I thought of reading this book. I had never read this book. This is my first time ever reading it. I've always known it. I've never seen the movies or any adaptations. I only know of it via pop culture, and I always have. That being said, with everything going on in the news here in America, everything going on in the government, and like, yeah, all that, reading this reminded me of just how like politically exhausted I am with the current state of the United States at the moment. And just everything going on. I did not get to thoroughly enjoy this book the way that it deserves and the way that I wanted to. I did not enjoy reading this. It's a good book. I like it a lot. It's high praise for a reason. I love it. It's not going anywhere. I'm keeping it forever. And I will reread it and reread it. But it was a grueling task to read these short pages. And I look forward to rereading it in like a year or two. Probably, honestly, how many more? 3 years? At least 3 years. Yeah, I'll read it in like 5. We'll let this shit blow over. Other than that, it was great. What I'm reading now is stuff to be good to my mind. Definitely stuff to be good to my mind. I've been reading a lot of the collected poems of Mervyn Peake. Mervyn Peake wrote Gormenghast. Anyone who's read Gormenghast knows it's flowery beyond flowery writing, beautiful prose. Like, do you want like beyond Tolkien, flowery, pretty? It infuriates half the people that look at it and they just don't want anything to fucking do with it. I get it. I understand. I get it. And that's kind of why we like it. It's the same reasons that we like it. I don't understand half of the shit whatsoever that this is talking about. There's a lot of like personal one-off, out of context images from like World War One, World War Two, in England, and in Europe on the battlegrounds, and just random war-torn shit, but so skewed and surreally out of context. There's no rhyme or even reason for any of much of which is going on in any of it, and that is here and is gone and that is over. I'm loving it. It's excellent. It is clearing my mind. It is restoring peace to my life, and that is definitely a lot of what I'm doing with it now. Now, that's funny I say it's restoring my peace, because the full length that I'm reading right now is, what is this? The Center Cannot Hold, My Journey Through Madness. This is a schizophrenia memoir. So I can never be too peaceful in my reading, apparently. This is from a doctor who studies schizophrenia, who has schizophrenia, talking through how it started in her life and her story, and just the story of what happened. It's, and I know I say this word all the time, I need to come up with a better word, but it's highly, extremely fascinating. I don't know if exciting is the right word for this. That might not be the right word at all for this. But it's so genuine and true. It's so straightforward in a way that I was kind of put off by its straightforwardness for about the first 15 pages. I had to kind of have a hard reboot and a hard reset with this one. And now I'm 100 pages in, and it is really starting to open up. People are thoroughly schizophrenic at this point. The drugs are flowing, the dreams are flowing. They're declaring that they're like God on page one in this already. A lot of it is familiar to me, being in recovery. I don't know if I've got 3 years of recovery at this point. Yesterday, 3 years no alcohol. Hooray me! Look at that. Yeah, I recognize a lot of this. Just the alienation that you feel, and this is so far and beyond the mentals of what I experienced. This is a good read. The audiobook for this is also available to stream if you have a Spotify premium thingy. So keep that in mind. And finally, what am I reading next? This came in from the library. I got volume 2 of the Deluxe Berserk. I know I said I was sticking off of manga and only sticking to what I like. Well, this is one of the things that I found out that I really like, which I knew that I would. We're now into what I'm super excited for, because this starts on chapter 2 of the Golden Age, which everyone says, like Insone, is the best Berserk and then like the best manga ever. So I'm gonna be getting into this within a couple days. I have it for 3 weeks from the library, so I'm not going to rush into it. This is definitely, like, besides Junji Ito, maybe even better than Junji Ito, like the coolest art in manga that I've seen to date. That I think so. And the last thing I'm going to try to slip in before the beginning of the month is Urth of the New Sun. I need to finish the entire fucking book of the New Sun cycle, and once I finish this, which, if you don't know, is book 5, so there's 4 books of the New Sun, which is like the 4 parts of the one book of the New Sun, and then everyone was so confused after they all came out that he had to write a 5th book to hammer in the message so anyone would understand. But this is apparently also very confusing, which is Gene Wolfe the only way he can do it. So I appreciate that, and I need to read it. I just need to read it. And that has been everything that I've been doing in the life of books for the past 2 weeks. Let me know what you guys are reading down in the comments. Cheers.